Two programmes on BBC television tomorrow will be considering the political implications and the economic consequences of the acceptance of Britain's membership of the European exchange rate mechanism. In a change to On the Record on BBC1 at 1 o'clock, there'll be interviews with Nigel Lawson and Leon Britton. And at 6:35 tomorrow evening on BBC2, a special edition of the Money programme with the Governor of the Bank of England, Robin Lee Pemberton, and Geoffrey Howe.
Good evening to you. Well, as you may well have just seen on the news, there's been some pretty awful weather around today, particularly in Scotland. And here's a sample of the rainfall. They had over 2 inches in Edinburgh, for instance, and over 1 inch in a number of other places. Further south, there was a little bit of rain, but nothing really to worry about. Now, that's what caused all the trouble today, that area of low pressure. It's been deepening all the while as it's moved across the borders. It's now heading out into the North Sea, taking its trouble across into Scandinavia. Quite a vicious swirl on the satellite picture, and this ribbon of clouds stretching right down into central France. Now, we find a fair number of showers still scattered about, especially in western parts, and indeed there's still some more general rain in the extreme sort of northeastern corner of the country, southeast Scotland. There's very strong winds around too, storm force winds over the North Sea. I think just the odd shower coming through to central parts overnight, but a fair number keeping running in around those north-facing coasts where it's going to remain pretty windy. A much colder night than last night in many places, about 5 or 6. That's the low 40s Fahrenheit. Tomorrow, a much brighter day in many places. There'll be some sunshine, but there will be a scattering of showers, again more particularly in northern and eastern areas where 1 or 2 could be on the heavy side. But I think as the day goes on, the showers should tend to become more scattered and lighter as well. And in the northwest of Scotland, incidentally, they'll be replaced by some more general cloud and outbreaks of rain. Quite a cold day tomorrow and a windy one with it.
In Songs of Praise this Sunday, there's a special open-air celebration from Bristol Castle. At 7:15, there's a job to be done in Last of the Summer Wine.
I see it as part of the revival of inland waterways.
Well, slap my pajamakies.
There's more from the seafaring folk in Howard's Way at 7:45.
Hello?
Leo, I thought it was time you and I had a little talk.
Orion, we have nothing to discuss.
Abby?
At 8:35 in Bread. Street Cleansing, the Boswell family way. At 9:20 in Screen 1, the bets are on.
Nick wants to get married.
Yes. Your Uncle Spiro suggested you. As matchmaker.
Every Man at 10:55 examines the reactions of British Muslims to the crisis in the Gulf. With the days and nights of Molly Dodd at 11:35, it's Sunday night on BBC1.
Now, the directorial debut of Michael, the deer hunter, Cimino, who has also written the screenplay for our Clint Eastwood movie, in which, with Jeff Bridges, they star in the runaway roles of Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Well, next week, Clint Eastwood is the high-ranking US officer awaiting rescue by Richard Burton and his paratroopers from that Nazi fortress in Where Eagles Dare. Dustin Hoffman undergoes another of his famed transformations, starring on BBC2 in a minute or so with Faye Dunaway and Martin Balsam as the 121-year-old survivor of Custer's last stand, Little Big Man.
I heard a voice from heaven saying,
"Hello, Ken Masters."
Howard's Way, tomorrow, 7:45 on BBC1.
The climax of the Horse of the Year show at Wembley Arena can be seen here on BBC1 in half an hour, after one more lasting impression from Rory Bremner.